Hi, I'm Paul Chris with Lincoln Electric System, and I'm the Vice President of Energy Delivery. I'm in charge of the T&D construction crews and the T&D design group here at LES. Wanted to give you a quick update on some of our supply chain issues that we're experiencing around construction and some of our designs, more specifically on our distribution transformers. Distribution transformers have been in short supply for a time now, almost a year, and LES has been monitoring this and trying to look for opportunities to improve our service to get these transformers and to serve our customers. For the distribution transformers, this is a national problem. It is not specific to LES, and we're also involved with some national groups to look into possible solutions to address these shortages. Frederick Rummery here in our project management office at LES has also been in charge of looking for opportunities and helping us to find solutions. He will be giving you a quick update on some of those solutions and some of the things that you can look for coming into either your neighborhoods or into some of the new developments we have here in Lincoln.
My name is Frederick Rummery, and I supervise our project management office here at Lincoln Electric System. And as Paul mentioned, I'm here to talk to you guys today about supply chain issues and how they're affecting our industry. So some things that we're being faced with and kind of how we got here involves really the lead times and the receiving of some critical materials that we need. Some of those critical materials include distribution transformers, conduit that's going to supply the power cables to the homes, to the transformers, and then the cable that I just mentioned that's going to go within the conduit. The transformers in particular, we're looking at an 80-week lead time on those pieces of equipment. So as you can imagine, that makes it very difficult for us to plan on the types of materials that we need, when we need them, and when the demand is going to be there. So some efforts that we've taken to kind of help curtail this issue is we've increased our order points starting in the year of 2021. So we started this quite early, but as you can imagine, with an 80-week lead time, some of those transformers that we increased our order points on, we've still yet to receive those. So as a result, we've been forced to get pretty creative, and we've gotten creative by the help of an internal team that we created that's the Transformer Tiger team. Our Transformer Tiger team focuses on the efforts to ensure that we continue to provide reliable power to our customers here in Lincoln, and not only to our existing customers, but the new growth customers. I do want to point out a quick fact for those listening that if you're an existing customer and you're concerned about your current power, we have taken efforts and created safety threshold stock limits. And so we have ensured that if we have any maintenance or emergency outages, we can provide you with that transformer and that reliable power that you're used to receiving. So have no concern with that. If you're a new customer or a developer or a builder and you're watching this video, the efforts that I'm going to describe next are efforts that we've created out of the Tiger team that I mentioned. Some of those efforts include some alternative measures or some designs that we've created. One of the designs will look very familiar to what we see in some of the older areas of town where we haven't had development for a while, and that includes overhead structures. Those overhead structures, as we're used to seeing, are utilize poles. They utilize overhead transformers, which are the white tubs that we see up there. And what those do are transform the power so that we can provide power to your homes to light up your light switches, your power sockets, your heating, your cooling, even your washing machines. So the first alternative design, as I mentioned, will utilize those exact pieces of equipment. So what we're used to seeing in new developments is what's called a pad mount transformer. The pad mount transformer is the green box, and it does the same thing as that white tub that I described on the pole. Due to the supply chain concerns, what we're going to do is utilize the overhead poles and the overhead transformers, and we've saved back enclosures or shell transformers that can then be utilized to safely shroud all of the equipment inside to keep the public safe. So what we will see in new developments likely is a pole structure with an overhead transformer and a pad mounted transformer next to it, again to safely enclose all of the electrical components inside of that box. This, as with all of our alternative measures, is a temporary measure. So these, we don't have a defined date on when they would come down, but as soon as adequate stock is received and we feel that our threshold levels have reached a level of comfort, then we would go out to those developments, remove the overhead facilities, and then replace that with what we're used to seeing in our new developments, and that's the pad-mounted transformer. All infrastructure will be utilized as it will for a normal residential development, just with the inclusion of that pole in transformers, as I mentioned previously. There's a second alternative measure that we're looking at as well. As with everything else, the major component that we need, we're facing supply chain issues and we haven't received that yet. But as soon as we do, we'll start to put these into place. What it utilizes is an enclosure or a shroud that goes over a pole-mounted transformer that's going to sit on the pad. So just as we're used to seeing in a residential development today is the green pad-mounted transformer, you would now see a green fiberglass enclosure that would shroud over the overhead transformer. These shrouds are tested and built for this, so they are built and designed with safety and consideration, and they're built to keep everyone safe and outside of them as well. In addition to the alternative designs, we've also reviewed all current stock that we have, whether that's stock that we have in our yard here at LES, or if this is stock that we have out in the field and has been operating in the past. We did a deep review to see if there was any transformers in our system that don't have load on them, are not serving any customers, and if they were, we immediately harvested them and brought them in to be reutilized for our customers for new growth. At the same time, we also did a review on our stock levels to determine what areas of transformer quantities might we be the highest in and what areas might we be the lowest in. We then did a deep dive on the current customer load demand on those transformers, and we would go and harvest those transformers and replace them with the correct size transformers to try to level out some of those transformer quantity levels. That has allowed us the opportunity to continue with our efforts as we have with normal design efforts without the utilization of alternative designs. In addition to that, we have also stopped the sale of any scrap transformers so that we could save all components necessary to provide restoration to any transformers that we need. So if there's any components on a transformer that failed, we now have a back stockpile of components that we can utilize to make that transformer whole and put it back into useful stock for our customers. An additional measure that LES has implemented is the deferment of internal programs. These programs have been identified as utilizing critical materials that are utilized in the new development for our customers. So what we need from you, our customer, our business partner, is continued communication to let us know your plans on your development, your building, so that we can ensure that we have the proper planning and execution to ensure that we have the power and material there when you need us. As new information continues to develop in relation to supply chain news here at LES, we'll continue to keep you informed. Thanks for tuning in with us today.